Everybody, welcome back to episode 8 of Tilted PodQuest. I'm your host, Paul Michael, joined as always by Alex.
Hey guys.
Yep, welcome. So we have a decent amount of stuff to get into this week. First up, though, Alex, you went to LA, as in Los Angeles Comic-Con. Maybe you can talk a bit about that.
Yeah, so I went to LA Comic-Con. It's 3 days. However, I only went to Saturday convention, and it's still pretty busy. Despite, being Saturday, it was around 12 o'clock I went there. A lot of traffic. Barely any parking space. Like, literally everyone's fighting tooth and nail for a parking space.
That's LA.
I literally, I booked, I reserved a spot for about $10, and then going there, they said the parking lot is full, so I literally drove somewhere else. $50 parking spot, paid $50 for a parking spot, and it was like no more than like a 5-minute walk from convention. So, spent a bit of money, but, saved some time walking. Went there, it was very huge. It's similar to how I imagined it would be like when I went to LA Comic Con like a couple years back. One entire room area would be mainly for comics, artist alleys, merch and stuff. So all those things like that. There is another section for gaming and then horror Halloween stuff. So there was like a small section for horror, selling Halloween stuff, Halloween costumes, masks, and all that stuff. And then there's a gaming side, and it was, I believe they were playing some type of fighting game. I didn't get to see it, didn't get to check it out. And there was also military. So basically, there were some recruiters there trying to recruit you to the military.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, the military and recruiting isn't actually that far-fetched because I remember not quite 20 years ago, maybe like 15 years ago, the military had a big push in gaming. So they came out with a couple of different games, but the biggest one by far was America's Army, which was a recruiting tool that didn't shy away from it being a recruiting tool, right? Like I remember like it was a very, at least for most of the modes, it was hardcore in that you could, you would get killed in just a couple shots, but to even be able to play the game, you had to get through boot camp. You had to go like fire down a range, be accurate enough, use a grenade properly, like all these different things. And then there was a mode where you wouldn't die. Instead, it was I can't remember what the acronym was, but it was these things on your vest, and they would beep when you get shot. So if you got killed, quote in quotes, you would just like, it'd be like paintball, I guess. Your character would automatically like raise their hand and then just sit down. So yeah, they did revamp that using Unreal Engine 4, I think was the last major revamp. They haven't done it for 5 yet, but I'm curious now. I wonder what the status on that game is. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So LA Comic-Con did have some games, yeah?
There were some few games. I didn't get a chance to play it. We were only there for about 3 or 4 hours at the most, latest. It was really packed. All the gaming station were taken up. There was 2 new games that I saw was kind of interesting. One was similar to Tower. We played Towerfall before.
Oh yeah.
It's a pixelated game similar to Towerfall. It's like Sonic, or Mega Man. Technically, I'll say more Mega Man. So it's a platform game, and every time you go into a room, the entire platform like rotates, and so it's a whole different environment. It's the same environment, but a whole different play style, and that was very interesting. I was gonna try that game, but yeah, none of those kids let me play. However, it's very cool. It's a really nice anime / Comic-Con area. I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of huge interest in comics, so to speak. So I can't really say that for sure. However, like I said, it's very interesting. It's getting bigger. The last time that was there was very, very small people, and it's like it still is not that huge compared to San Diego Comic-Con, but I'm thinking for people who want more a relaxing convention, and don't want to get like waiting in line stuff, LA Comic Con is your to go to. Otherwise, San Diego Comic Con is usually the best Comic Con, I would say, so far.
Yeah, well, San Diego Comic Con is naturally the biggest one, and I think I've gotten invited to go there a couple times, and we still just haven't done it, just because it's gaming wise, especially back then, it was all about E3, right? And
yeah.
But speaking of other events, though. One thing that we did have a little bit of coverage on recently was Tokyo Game Show 2025. Our colleague Heath Hindman, who I actually used to write, Heath Hindman, I put the D at the end there. I used to write with him way back when at PlayStation Lifestyle, and even helped him revamp his own website that he's running called RPG Land. And anyway, shout outs to him. He covered Resident Evil Requiem, just got his hands on that game for a bit. Talks about the demo. You feel free to check it out on mpfirst.com. Hopefully we'll remember to put the links in the description. But that actually reminds me of this one time at E3 years ago when Resident Evil 7 was coming out for PlayStation. It had a VR support, right? So I walk into the booth and like I have a media appointment, so this is not something that you could do on the show floor. But they escort me behind the desk into this sectioned off room, and you walk in and they must have put up like soundproofing stuff because you walk in and it's dead quiet.
Yeah.
And there's a single chair. They don't tell me anything. They just open the door and leave essentially. And there's this single chair with the VR headset on it, and it's like a rickety old wooden chair that creaks the second you touch it. And in front of you is a TV, but you're not going to be using that because you're going to be in VR. I guess the TV is just maybe for ambient lighting. And it was kind of set up like a level in the video game. It was one of the coolest booths I've ever seen to this day still. And I got to get my hands on and just see how terrifying it would be in VR, which it is. But I don't recall if Requiem has VR support. I don't think so.
No, but the chair was probably a reference to the Resident Evil where the guy sat on a chair. And then I think it was the grandpa or something, or no, it's not grandpa. It's the dad.
Welcome to the family, son.
Yeah. And you're in that chair. No. When I was at PodQuest, they had a huge room, and inside they say that the environment was pretty dark. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many computers and how many sections were closed off, but it was supposed to do the same similar thing.
Right, where it's always cool when they remake a level in person.
Yeah.
So anyway, that brought me back because I don't remember what E3 that was, but since that's Resident Evil 7 on the PS4, it was obviously like sometime last decade. But in the meantime, though, you also wrote one of your previews went out since the last time we recorded, which was Hidden Deep.
Yeah, we talked about that last podcast.
That's right. We did, didn't we?
So we did talk about it last podcast, but let's move to Silent Hill because I'm pretty sure everyone's more excited about Silent Hill.
Sure, we are. Silent Hill F is finally out. We didn't get it for review, but I've watched a couple of people play it, and so far it seems good. It seems like combat is a little middling. Like everyone seems to have issues with that. Her dodge seems to be a little awkward, and some of the intro puzzles, thankfully, aren't too difficult.
Yeah, I gotta give it a try. It's $70 on, I believe, PS5 right now, so I'm gonna buy it and then see if the game's any good. Dodging wise, I would say most games like back then, like Liza P and then Wu Chang, the dodging or the just the timing window is very, very weird. Coming from Dark Souls games, when you dodge roll, sometimes your input's either earlier or a bit later.
Yeah, in this case, I think the enemy animations are really exaggerated on purpose. And what I saw from this early enemy, it's an enemy that you can't kill outright. You can only disable it for a minute or so. But like he has like this very obvious effect, and like they outline him in red, which I'm a little colorblind, but even I can see this red, and that's your window to do either a perfect dodge or a stun. I forget which, but like I feel it's easy, but people are expecting it to have a much tighter window when the reality is it's much more lenient. So people tend to dodge too early.
So a lot of gamers have either a preference because it's either too difficult or too hard, and I'm not sure. Does the Silent Hill F has a scaling difficulty because it depends. I wish that most game has scaling difficulty because I like to play games that are pretty hardcore, but for story wise. That in itself, I rather lower the difficulty just to enjoy the story more. But we'll see. I'll play Silent Hill F, and then I'll give you my take on that.
Yep, well, stay tuned to that one then. Anything else you've been playing?
I got a chance to do a demo preview of Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I can't reveal much about the game. It's really fun, enjoyable. I really liked it. It's a short game, so I can only say that it's an arcade game. I would say it's on Steam right now. You guys can take a look at it, but I can't reveal more about the game itself. Not until I believe October 1st. So until then, by the time I think this podcast released, our next podcast, I'll talk about it.
Okay, great. Okay. Yeah, one thing that happened yesterday at 11 o'clock, the Fortnite cross Daft Punk collaboration finally came out. And that was one I surprisingly didn't forget. Well, okay, I kind of forgot, but I got a Twitch notification like 10 minutes prior. So my wife was yelling as well, and she's like, it's time for Daft Punk. So we ran over to the console, and Fortnite was actually up to date because my brother-in-law had recently played it on my PS5, and so that helped to keep it up to date. And I logged in at like 11:01 for the event, and true to form, my wife, who has like a we say like a bad tech karma, right? When she loaded in, it didn't load. She was just floating in. She was floating in not space, because it starts you in space, but she was floating in nothing. It was just a black void. There was no music, no nothing. So we logged out, logged back in, and then it proceeded to play, and it was honestly awesome. I didn't really know what to expect because I haven't really attended one of these experiences when they're live. And so I got to see like a taste of it. But like from what I'm reading online too, especially like on the Daft Punk subreddit, for instance, people who have been lifelong Fortnite players, like day one OG players, they say that it's the best experience that's been released to date. And it starts you off in like, well, you'll have to experience it. It's free. You can go download it right now and play it. But like it starts in space, and there's all these references to a lot of Daft Punk's work. Some people are describing it as like a continuation of the Interstellar 5555 movie / album that they released back then. And to give you an idea of just how, like, if you're a Daft Punk fan, you need to go play it, because I ended up because it drops you into this main like area, and you walk over to the concert area, the concert hall where everybody else is, and I ended up staying in there for, no joke, an entire hour. And then I realized, oh, the songs are looping, but I think they gave enough soundtrack, like a big enough playlist, that it fills up the majority of an hour.
Yeah.
So you can stay there bouncing around and letting, because the floor changes, and there's like a portion where you're flying above the stage, and like you can go through these triangles that make nice effects, and you can of course dance with other players that happen to be in the same instance as you. And the two robots are up in the stage, and there's even an encore thing, which is cool. So like it's basically like it kind of feels like a live 2007, which was their live album that they recorded. And like they walk off the stage, they like wave goodbye, and then they come back out for their encore. And the whole thing is just awesome. And I had it on my custom built surround sound system, so 1200 watts of power were shaking the house. And I'm probably gonna play it again for sure. And there's 5 different sections. There's also a pretty impressive section where you can create your own mix with other players. So you can they set up all these stems, I guess they're called, for mixing and matching the different leads, the bass, and the vocals. So you can have and there's even some of the Weeknd, because the Weeknd collaborated right with them for the Starboy song, and I think one other song that I'm forgetting the name of. But like, so you can spend like an hour there easily. Yeah. Like it's a good waste of time, and also like just a lot of fun, especially if you're a Daft Punk fan or not. Like it's also just, you can appreciate all the hard work that went into it, because all these little details, like the fact that one member is taller than the other, they included that. So they didn't just use like generic character models. I think somebody at a decently high enough position in the company at Epic Games is probably a big Daft Punk fan, and they made this happen. So whoever that is, I thank you.
I grew up with Daft Punk musics too, and most of their music are really good, usually good. And I think, though I don't think they will ever come back again, because I think they retired.
Yeah, they did.
But I don't play Fortnite. I don't really like Fortnite much. But I'll probably look on YouTube and stuff on the music. But it's great to see that Daft Punk made a more, I wouldn't say a comeback, but it's just like a nostalgia to their music and stuff.
Yeah, Daft Punk has, ever since the One Robot Quit, which is that's another thing. You got to see the intro, because the intro actually references that once you get through the main part. But anyway, I won't spoil it, I guess, for anyone who may want to be interested and somehow slept on this. I mean, I don't know how you missed, like the Daft Punk Twitter account is still pretty active, and they were pushing this for a while. So there was a lead up, like, there's a lot of those messages when even I knew the time that it was going to start, because I don't usually pay attention to that kind of stuff. But yeah, it gives a little bit of closure, I guess, in the sense that like it's not really the end of Daft Punk, but we just have different ways to experience them now, which is great. And it is limited time, though. I believe it's only going to last about 4 weeks. So, you do have a good chunk of time, but you don't have forever. Not, all good things must come to an end, as they say. So, yeah, check it out. I know it definitely hyped me, and I'm going to be listening to more Daft Punk in the meantime.
In any case, let's talk about John Wick update for pinball. So, we are now, I believe, week 6, 7?
I don't know. I've lost count too.
I think we are on week six for Pinball League.
We're on the last. So there's two sections left of pinball. There's this week and next week, and at this point we're ranked. So we're getting together with people at around the same skill level, just based on points. And then we're skipping after those 2 weeks, and then the finale will be after that. So I think this is week 6. Yeah.
Yeah. So week 6. So basically, a lot of the games have been updated. We just got recent news about the John Wick code coming out for the pinball.
Yep, John Wick is now up to version 0.98. I think Stern is one of those companies that's kind of not afraid, but like they don't like to say that this is version 1.0 now. They're like, it's not early access, but I don't think they like to say version 1.0 because there's a lot of expectations with a huge version number like that. But anyway, they said that the code is called "Every Marker Must Be Honored," and it contains numerous game enhancements, additional polish, game adjustments, and bug fixes. And there's a huge list. Like every update, there's always this huge list. But I will say, I noticed, at least for me, John Wick has felt a little more accessible because, like, past couple times I've played, I've easily broken 10 million. The last game I had was 140 something million. Like, It seems to be more. I don't know if it's more forgiving or if I'm just getting more used to it. It's probably a combination of of both.
I guess they tweaked it a bit more, make it more, I don't want to say forgiving, but more enjoyable. And every mission you complete gives you more points. Because when we play it, it was really rough. Like, literally, everything feels too fast, and then we didn't get a lot of points. But now it's a bit more consistent. It's still fast. It's still one of those games that, it's going to be hard to break 10 million. Well, especially for us or for me. But yeah. I feel like after playing a bit more and more, I'm slowly breaking that 10 million and going above that too. So we'll see. But I do enjoy the John Wick pinball machine. That's the only one game that I would recommend if you're losing. And not a lot of people like John Wick because, like I said, it's a fast-paced game, and people like to cradle the balls. And one miss, cradle, will screw their rhythm. So.
That's true. Yeah, there are some tables like that where you choose it because everyone else is going to have a hard time too, and you never know, you might get lucky. But I also have a connection to John Wick. I don't know if I mentioned this in earlier episodes, but back when I first started writing for Multiplayer First, I got invited to 47's offices. Who I've been there so many times now. I almost know some of the people by first name, and they invited me to what I assumed was the John Wick video game because I'm writing about video games. Why would this company be talking about anything else? So imagine my surprise when I show up that morning and walk into the conference room and there's a pinball table waiting for me in the room. Turns out they invited me to a preview of John Wick, and they had the premium edition or whatever they're calling the top tier one that has like a piece of an outfit that Keanu Reeves wore on set, which is I think also what's at Revenge of where we're playing tonight. And so I got to play the game when it was really, really, really early on. But I played 10 games easily and just enjoyed my time for sure.
Not only that, we got a chance to play at DEF CON too.
Yeah, it was a DEF CON as well. Yeah.
And in DEF CON we actually broke 10 million. We got to it was still brutal.
Yeah.
But we got 35 million. And if we could compete in the tournament too, but we didn't realize a lot of people didn't show up. So. That was a bad on our part, but it's we enjoy pinball. We love pinball, and as of now, we're recording this. We're kind of short on time. We'll be heading to pinball right now.
Yep, it's currently 5:00 on Sunday, and the tournament begins at 6:30 sharp. And we're both kind of in the middle of. They haven't sorted us into divisions yet, which is what they do for finals. So right now we're all about either earning as many points as we can, or maybe just kind of playing it safe, but. You're not supposed to just throw away the game. And I haven't seen it happen yet, but the host, his name is Joe, right?
Yeah.
He says that if he notices that you're playing particularly poorly towards the end, he'll maybe talk to you about it. But thankfully, everyone seems to play. They play their best, right? They try. They're actually trying to get as many points as they can, and they're not throwing games just to try to end up in a lower division in the hopes that things will go easier.
Yeah, I meant for me, I got thrown into. Literally a group of people who should have been top 16, but they didn't make the top 16 cut. But literally they destroyed me in every single game. I was like, am I in the right ranking?
Yeah, sometimes it can feel like that.
But Thank you guys. Anything else, Paul Michael?
No, I think that's it. Watch Multiplayer First for more of our articles coming out soon and more reviews. We didn't even touch on the tech stuff, but I guess that's all right.
We'll get more to that. I'm right now testing the mouse, and I believe you read a review of the mouse already for yours.
Yeah, the MSI Versa Pro wireless mouse, $70. Quick version of that review is 8 out of 10. It's a solid mouse. It's got an awkward kind of location for the dongle because they sell a docking station for the mouse, which is a little over the top, but also kind of cool. I mean, I could see it, but they had to, there's some give and take there. But I mean, $70, and it's got pretty much everything that you would imagine for a gaming mouse, including a mouse wheel that you can toggle between free scrolling, like on a bearing, and clicky, which I missed in my because I had a work mouse that did that, and I like that. So
interesting.
Cool to see.
Mine's like an 8.5, and I'm pretty sure yours is much more higher on the price mark, right?
No, I just looked at it. It was only $70.
Mine's is probably roughly $67 too. So either it's just a newer iteration. I haven't seen the docking station, but I didn't have any docking station for mine.
With the docking station, I think it's $100.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Without it, you save a little bit of money, but now you have this port that you're never going to use because there's no other docking station for MSI mice. But I think MSI is trying to compete on price, but not skimping on features, which is hard to do.
Yeah, I think there would be maybe the next AMD, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know about my review. I'm still stress testing it. I'm trying to confirm everything that they wrote on their box, 1,000 hertz response rate, which I came really close to 1,000 or even slightly above 1,000. So from what they're saying, they are keeping true to their word. So be sure to check that out very soon. But for now, we gotta head out.
Yep, we could talk all day about tech, but the reality is we got to go. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.
Bye.